Hello and welcome. My name is Radha, and I'm the founder of Radha Publishing House. We curate multidimensional books that awaken the heart, invigorate the soul, and create meaning in people's lives. And today we have a very special guest, Lori Roddey, who is generously sharing her experience of Lemurian code healing and infinite cosmic records. And we are going to have some fun today diving into the topics of Lemuria. We are so excited about this upcoming book, Infinite Cosmic Records, Doorways to Healing and Remembrance. Welcome, Lori.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you here. I loved your chapter so much, and I felt really resonant with your whole experience. Um, I think we're opening up conversations now where people are a little more open to hearing different kinds of things. And so I would love to just jump right in about, your experience. And first of all, how did you even come across Maya?
Oh my God, I love how the universe works. I just typed in one night, it's like, I think it was in 2020 or 2019, I don't even remember. Just, I wanted some healing. And I think I typed in Lemurian because I'm so connected to Lemuria, but I didn't even really know what Lemuria was. I just know I felt connected. And sure enough, I type in healing and Lemuria and Maya comes up. And it was just the perfect timing.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you tried the Lemurian code healing first?
Yes, I believe it was 8 sessions over, like, 6 or 8 months with that.
Wow. What was that like, the Lemurian code healing?
It was so amazing. I used to always tell my niece that we have so much gold in our heart, and
Oh,
I feel like the Lemurian code healing was just cleaning out all the layers that were just so that, we don't even know where it comes from, what life. It just cleansed it layer by layer, and every session, the integration between sessions, I felt like I was getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and it was just so wonderful, and I tape recorded them, so I was able to re-listen to them, and so, yes, it's just been so beautiful.
that's so wonderful. I feel that it's so important for us all to do heart clearing. We inherit like these heart wounds and heart, traumas in our heart. If our parents or grandparents didn't clear them out, we end up having to be the ones to clear them. So it's such a great service that you do by stepping into that and clearing it for the generations before and after, regardless if we they've passed or not, because it still affects their soul. So beautiful. So I'd like to just jump in and ask about the doorways, or you might want to just preface that with what it's like to go into the infinite cosmic records. But I'm so excited to get to the doorways with you.
Yeah, and that was such a fun, going into the Infinite Cosmic Records because I didn't know what it was gonna be like. It was completely a different paradigm than the healing codes, and so I was so excited. I had no idea what to expect, and I had no expectations. And so, as we were going into it, I was like, I'm thinking back, and I love, like, just allowing to whatever's going to be, just allow it. And then the first door, I can't really remember. I think it was a wooden door or something, and I opened it up, and all of a sudden I got like just like a joyful light feeling, and I felt fairy energy, elemental energy. And as I went through, and Maya was such an amazing guidance because like I didn't really know what to do. And so she like so beautifully just did the guiding and asked me the questions to really help me unfold what was happening. And I think it was about, I know what the message is now, and it was all about bringing back the joy and the playfulness. And it was just like unlocking, they almost like asked me to unlock this doorway that's been closed, and it really, like, in retrospect, we think about the world now, we've lost that playfulness.
Yeah.
We've lost that joy. And so it was almost unlocking it not only for myself, because I got too serious in life and this and that. And I used to be so playful.
Yeah.
And so I believe the bigger message was not only for me to radiate joy again, but for all of humanity to remember what it was like to be that child who would just go outside and just be with nature and just be so fully connected without the responsibility of what we carry. And so for me, that was just, I could feel it like coming through, just the fairy energy and the lightness of our heart. It was just, it was so fun to like just allow it to escape.
I just love that. I can feel the energy. It's just it's so high vibrational. I love that elemental energy. I think that's what's so cool about the Infinite Cosmic Records is that when we open these doorways, we do access these portals of enchantment. And I had kind of a experience like that too, but with dragons. And so I just love that we can reconnect back to the pureness of who we are because we are light and joyful, but this world can be so heavy and all the energy and especially if you're an empath. So I understand that you were born as an empath. As a child, you were very intuitive. And how is that up to now? And like, how has that, did that shut down in life or, did it reactivate or,
It's so funny because when we're young, we don't know the words. We don't have that verbiage of empath and taking on
Mhm.
everybody's energies.
Yeah.
So for me, in a busy household with, a lot of siblings yelling and screaming and chaos and just school and the life, literally going outside and going on my swing. And it's so funny, like I'm thinking about this now, like the swing, you
Mhm.
go up and you go back and you go up. It was balancing me. And I didn't even ever think about that. Being outside in nature with the birds and hearing like I would always, that was my happy place, my backyard on my swing set with the birds. And then like even like the planes overhead, that was my literally universe's way of grounding me back and helping me release everything that I was taking inside that I had no idea I was carrying and
Mhm.
weighing down. And so it's always been a big effort, and the more on my spiritual journey I learned, the more I realized I had to ground, I had to remember how to ground and to not allow other people's energy to come inside my space. I
Yeah.
do the permission rose now and keep my energy within my space and give permission to have people to have the energy outside of my space. And
Yes.
that's helped tremendously.
Oh, beautiful. That's incredible. Energy boundaries are so important. Do you feel like when you went into the Infinite Cosmic Records and you connected with that energy, do you feel that energy sort of downloaded, reactivated inside of you? It's kind of like, you know, bringing that back, what was already you in the first place, what's already yours. You know.
Absolutely. Yes, I love that you even asked that question because I reread my chapter this morning and I like literally embodied it once again. And that's the thing. We are all it's just remembering it.
Mhm.
We know it. It is still
Yeah.
residing in our bodies. It's just a remembering it, bringing it back in. And it was so fun. Yeah. So I remembered it and re-enjoyed all over today again.
It is so exciting. Will you tell us about the second doorway?
Yes. Oh my goodness. It was so exciting. I always, and I'm not visual, but
Mhm.
I always have just memories of crystals, and I've always loved crystals. And I have a big Lemurian crystal, and
Ooh.
it like jogged my memory years ago about like a crystal city. And so my second doorway was, I was describing the actual door. I think I said to Meyer, I think it was like a crystal. And then when I walked through it, it was this crystal, like this mountain, which was crystal, and the capstone was like an icicle. If you think of like the point, it was like an icicle at the top, and I just instantly felt Lemurian energy, and they like kind of brought me to a different area And then all of a sudden a dolphin came, and I
Ooh.
was like, I just, dolphin, they have a natural smile, so you just think of them and you get lit up. And then when they were showing me the capstone, they said this is the highest frequency of all frequencies. And of course, dolphins and whales too have that highest frequency
Yeah.
and they communicate it.
Ooh.
Oh, it's just so beautiful. I was so happy to just have that moment again with the dolphins, and then the whale showed up towards the end and said, "We're the the ancient mothers." Yeah, the original goddess energy, and I was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, God."
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. There is something so cosmic about dolphins and whales. They actually bring us back to those energy points, you know. I think that they carry those codes too. And so they're transmitting them to us, whether it's when we connect to it, like you have in the records, or when we go and meet with them. I used to live in Malibu, like, right on the ocean, and, right on the beach was my backyard, so I would see the dolphins, and I felt like they were transmitting a lot. It was kind of when I was just sort of on my awakening journey, and I was just starting, and they transmitted this frequency to me that, like, I know it was Lemurian frequency, because I was, like, high as a kite. It was almost like I was on psychedelics, and I wasn't, I wasn't on. I was just drinking my tea, and actually, my mom was there, and we were like, "Whoa!" Everything turned sort of technicolor in a way, like, it was, like, vibrating really bright, and I was elated, this feeling of elation that's almost not even available to us as humans in our template that we have here, but I know that that's what we're bringing back, and that's why you went through that journey, because 'cause you're recoding yourself. Recoding, reactivating, and as you bring those frequencies into you, it's like you're anchoring them in to this world again. So we are actually recoding with this work, and you now you're carrying those codexes. So when you walk around, you're just going to the grocery store, your vibe, it's in your field, and people get activated actually by simply being in someone's field who's gone through these activations and processes. So, um, it's interesting. I'm just curious, like, have you noticed a shift in the way people react to you since you've done all these healing sessions? Like, yeah, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, I just love this because you're helping me remember and reaffirm and validate too, because I've been seeing anchor signs everywhere. And I keep saying, and they keep saying, my higher self, I'm here to anchor the higher vibrational energies. And then what you just said, I was like, oh my goodness, I wasn't quite sure. But yes, it's definitely the Lemurian dolphin whale energies that all of us, not just me, my goodness, we all are re anchoring that to raise this vibration. We're here to
Yeah.
rebirth this new earth. Ah,
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's it. We're here to rebirth the new earth. And I just love that you stepped into this like so fully. That's such a commitment that you've made. But I believe that we have these soul contracts before we even come in, like that we're going to go through the mundane, and then we're at certain times we'll start to activate. And then we start to remember more and more, and the memories start coming. They come in dreams, they come in visions, they come in these sessions. The cool part about these sessions is that you can listen to them again, and then you can come back to that. So it kind of brings you back. And each time you probably listen to it, it reactivates you more and more. And so, the ones that are doing the work, it's actually for humanity, it's for humanity because we get the codes, but then we also share them, and you are an anchor. I saw that. I don't know. I just saw that energetically. I was like, I see an anchor. Like that's what I saw for you. You're anchoring in those codexes into your field, into the land. And people don't understand. Like grid work is something that light workers do, when we are activating and we start to bring those activations into the ley lines, into the earth. And so each one of us is in our own location where we're meant to be bringing those codes to. And sometimes, we travel because we're meant to go to different places and do those exchanges. Um, but I really want to get into your third doorway because I just ooh, I just felt like I was taken back to a magical place. You want to share about that?
Yeah. It was, like, funny because I was like, "This can't get any better than the dolphin." And the funniest thing is, when she was guiding me, I think the 3rd doorway wasn't even like a door. I said, "I don't know, it's like this weird green and yellow." And then now, like this morning, and I love what you just said because when I reread it, it is reactivating because we evolve every day. We're not the same people
Yeah.
we were an hour ago, whoever we meet and whatever self-work we're doing. And so then I was like, oh my God, green and yellow. Yellow is our solar plexus, which is all about power and our self empowerment. And then green, of course, is the heart chakra. So, like, I just recognized that this morning. And then, so when I was going through that energetic doorway, beautiful Maya asked, well, what do you see on your feet? And I was like, I don't see anything on my feet. I am just, it's like it's like I think I was like a blue sky, and then all of a sudden it just went to like the stars, and I was like, I am just like in the cosmos, and it was just, I was like, I see the Milky Way, and I was just one with the all. And I mean, I meditate every day, and I have never experienced anything like that ever. It was so magical. Oh my God, I just like want to cry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a feeling. It's like what like Lemuria, we're one with everything. Like we are the earth, we are the sky, we are the trees, we are the full expression. Um, and we can merge into ourselves, we can merge into that experience of the sky. If we look at, we can be the rainbow, we can be the whale. It's very, very multidimensional, and it, to most people, probably very hard to explain, but the heart knows what the heart knows, and the heart knows that we were one at one time, we were one, and that we are coming back to that, but we're clearing, we have a lot of purging and clearing to do as humanity. And so it's it's the grief of that separation because we know how good it can be, how good it's meant to be, how great it's meant to be, that we're meant to be part of this organic experience of source, energy. And I always say, like, you know, like the heart of the creator, because that's part of Lemurian code healing. And being in the heart of the creator, we know we're all one when we're in that place, and that safety, feeling so safe and so loved. And so, since we are on this timeline, we're the ones who are bringing that back. We want to, we are standing for that. We're standing for that, that our world can shift in the way that we once remembered it. And it may look very daunting and very dark and far from that, but that's not the truth. The truth is we are the ones we've been waiting for. We're here. And so the work that you've done going into your records and anchoring that back into your knowing, that's part of the collective consciousness, like the 100th monkey kind of thing, where we are doing this work that's very hard to explain because we understand it, like in our soul, we understand it so well. But um it's an interesting thing to explain, but it's just an experience. But we understand that this is a recoding, that the codes of this earth kind of went a little awry, this mind virus. So now we're back um here to be the coders, coders of consciousness.
I love how you explained it because, we think so linear and it's hard to understand. And there's so much, like, even through my journey, I've been in the dark spots. But
Yes.
again, know, like, even when I was in the dark, I journal, and I've always journaled since I'm like 14. I knew that that darkness was for me to learn whatever I needed to learn and to release whatever I needed to release. And it's like all of those years, the highs and the lows is like coming to this amazing epic cycle this is like the greatest time on earth. I know it doesn't look like it out there, but we're here to help everybody remember what it was like. And now coming home, like I remember with that, going there, they just said, "Welcome home, you're home." And oh my goodness. I mean, we're going back to the golden age.
Wow, that's I can feel it. I can really feel it like in my heart. I feel it, the truth of that. And I understand the truth of that. It's so beautiful. You're very brave to go into those doorways, because it could be scary. We don't know what's on the other side of the door until we walk in.
So true.
And how did you know which doorway to choose? Like, did it call you? Did it pull you? What was the signal? What was the sign?
Yeah, it's funny. I love that you asked that. At the end, my higher self wanted me to say all the doorways were on the left, and that was my feminine energy. And I love that because we are rebalancing the divine feminine to be balanced with the divine masculine. And so all of those doorways was the divine feminine in me to open up so we could be a part of this rebalancing. And I don't think I even realized that right until you just asked that question. So thank you.
That's so cool. I just love it because everyone's experience is so unique to them, and how you choose the door. It's fascinating. Wow. And I love what you said about, we're rebalancing because we are. It's not just one or the other. We're really here to balance that within ourselves, right? Because that's where we want to make the changes. We got to do them inside. Inside. Everybody wants the world to change, but let's do it. Let's start, within. Because imagine if everybody did healing work in the world. Could you imagine if everybody did it? We would just be like instantaneously be brought to that timeline. That's just how it is. But it's the densities that people hold inside of themselves. So I always say it's my job to clean myself out so that I can hold more light, and then I can, then more people can also do the same. We're all doing it, and we're all doing it kind of like these pillars of light. And of course, it doesn't mean that like we're perfect, because I'm certainly on my journey of, you know, purging out lifetimes of stuff too. It's a process. And it's a beautiful process though, because it's a kind of exciting, it's very fun. It's not work because it's joyful, it's joyful. The access points we are invited to connect with again, it brings such a joy in our heart, and a peace in our heart, a peace, a feeling of like, wow, this is real. This is not just real, but it's possible. This is part of who you are. That's part of your ancient lineage and your history, her story. So you're accessing your true essence. And how do you think that affects you now, like just in your everyday life?
I love it because, being suffering depression and the darkness and then having so much light, I've always had this up and down, and oh, when the ups are so up, I mean, I'm like connected with every bird and every tree and everything, and you just feel amazing. But we know, or I know now, for what the dark teaches us as well. But
Mhm.
this is like, I think this is the most exciting because we are going to continue to evolve in words on our journey. But I feel like this is a precipice. This is a point that I think I've been yearning for like my whole life. And we're getting there. And with your work, oh my God, thank you. Because the collaboration, we all have to get together as a whole, as the one, to share this new world that we're birthing. And this opportunity and all the other writers and all the books that you're doing is part of that collaborative cooperation. I think it was Barbara Marx Hubbard, the Homo luminous that we're entering. And so I'm very excited, and I just, the inner work is the ingredient. It's part of the recipe for the masterful cake that we're going to be able to enjoy.
We are, we're all gonna be at this big table together, finally enjoying the fruits of our labor, and I do believe we will get there. It's already happening within us, so therefore it's possible for everyone else. And I'd like to ask you, what would you say to someone who might wanna try this, but may feel like, "I don't know what I'm gonna see, I'm not sure," if they feel drawn, but a little nervous?
I think we have to just go through, because, you know, I mean, I'm nervous all the time. I just have to say, you got this. And oh, it's really, really remembering to empower ourselves.
Mhm.
I think we have so many projections and so many insecurities and so many labels and everything on us that I always think of like Wonder Woman, you know, she was like in her golden thing. I mean, I grew up with, like, those empowering, you know, things. I don't know where she just came from, but
I
we're
love
all
Wonder Woman. She was my the superhero, growing up, and I was like, "Yeah."
same thing, same thing. So I think we're all here, Rhonda, to help empower ourselves
Mhm.
and the collective,
Yeah.
and just allow ourselves to trust in ourselves. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, yes, go for it and just, okay, go through it. We, even with the nerves or the
Mhm.
fear, just allow. Just allow. That's my biggest lesson. They always say, just surrender. And I'm like, oh my goodness. It's an everyday thing. Just surrender. Okay.
I love that. That's so beautiful. I think it's hard because we don't trust, and there's good reasons that we should, question things, but we have to also drop into our heart, because the mind will always have a reason not to move forward. The mind will always come up with a practical reason why you shouldn't evolve, because it doesn't want you to evolve, because then you're going to be more in the heart and you're going to be working from a higher place, and the mind doesn't want to feel useless. And the thing is, we can integrate all of it. Like, the mind is a powerful tool. It's our supercomputer, but we can also access way more with our computer when we're online with the divine, right? So it's there's no loss, there's only gains. And I love hearing your journey. It's so beautiful. And I can relate to what you said, like going through the dark. And I think there's no judgment around that, because I always say that star seeds are dropped into the darkness, and that's where they have to bloom. But we don't know, we have to understand that that's part of our journey that we agreed to. And so the darkness is something that all star seeds have gone through, lots of depression and grief, and feeling this abandonment. I think abandonment wound is a big one. It's this feeling of like, we know the truth, and so we know that what's real, what's possible, where we came from. And so sometimes when you're in places that aren't that high vibrational and loving, it can be shattering, and we just have to keep remembering why we're here and keep doing the work, because the more that we go inward, the more that we bloom. Like, I can see it in your field. You totally bloomed. You're the full rose, and that's like, it's a gift, because when we bloom, we can share that fragrance with others. You know, that beautiful energy just vibrates. A rose is the highest frequency. I love the rose. I feel like you have a lot of rose energy in you.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. It's such a beautiful compliment. I did the Priestess of the Rose. I think that's part of my lineage as well.
Oh, yeah, I can sense that. I love that. Um, so beautiful. But yeah, so see, even I can feel that from here. the effervescence of your energy is just overflowing, so it does come through, and it doesn't matter if it's you're on one place and I'm in another. I think, are you in Florida?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm Florida. I'm in the Appalachians, but still, the energy doesn't lie, you know? The energy vibrates and the frequency is there, and you're the keeper, you're the keeper of this frequency. So, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. And thank you so much for sharing about the infinite cosmic records and allowing others to be courageous and step into their own experience because we're all here blooming together. That's how, garden is beautiful. All the flowers bloom and you're like, wow, you know what? It's not just one rose, it's not just one flower or, they're all different kinds too, right? That's what makes a garden amazing. So we are bringing heaven back to earth through the work we do. And I just thank you for your courage and much love and blessings to you.
Oh, my goodness. My heart is just overflowing. Thank you so much. And thank your beautiful mother. She has been such a big part of my journey.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. I'm really, really honored that you're part of this book. And this book, I know it's going to serve many, and your story will inspire so many people. So thank you for
Oh,
trusting us and being part of this. And much love and blessing.
thank you.